Guys, it's Dan from Generation Productions, and I said TARDIS has actually gotten bigger, so that's pretty cool. There we go, new TARDIS. But yes, I'm here today with my Sonic and my TARDIS. So let's talk about some news. Okay, so from another fellow YouTuber who's a Doctor Who person as well, Theroy, I think it's pronounced, Theories or Theorizes or something like that. You know, this guy, that dude, has actually chucked up, I think, shout out to his channel. People go subscribe to his channel and check out his Discord and stuff. But here we go. So, apparently the part of the new post is, yes, apparently Chris SHITnall has decided that he's going to go with this whole preconceived notion that the Ruth Doctor, let's see, yeah, the Ruth Doctor is legit, a legit pre-incarnation to the sort of William Hartnell thing. So, Chris SHITnall, as I'm going to call you from now on, Chris SHITnall, that's just absolutely bullshit. And mate, you could have gone to so many different areas with this. You had, like I said, the necklace had R written on it for, like, you know, for Ruth, but also could have been R for the Rani, or R for the, you know, the, trying to think of it, the, you know, river. But no! You had to go down this stupid bloody path of creating an alternate timeline, well, not even really an alternate timeline per se, but, screw you, SHITnall, screw you. Because I'm sick and tired of this shit, man. So yes, it's true, people, that apparently this is going to be, this Doctor is basically somewhat like this one here is somewhat of a retcon and sort of like a pre-Hartnell Doctor or pre John Pertwee Doctor, somewhere around that timeline. So either before, you know, John Pertwee or before William Hartnell. But either way, screw that shit. I mean, I absolutely love the actress. I absolutely love her as being a doctor. They should have had it that she was actually after, you know, after Jodie. That would have been brilliant. But no. So this is supposed to be somewhat before that, or even more so, she could be even somewhat in the timeline of the War Doctor. But either way, you know, there's a couple sketchy patches of regeneration of the Doctor. One part was between the Patrick Troughton to John Pertwee Doctor, and of course from the 9th Doctor to the 10th Doctor. There was a bit of a sort of like a rough patch time period there, but either way, screw it. I think I'm just going to put out a straight up thing. If that's what SHITnall's planning to do, then I think it's time to actually boycott Doctor Who. Now the classic Doctor Who I'm perfectly fine with, and even like I said, the Matt Smith era Doctor Who, slightly, but as far as I'm concerned, this sort of Doctor Who, the classic and the mid modern, I think is absolutely brilliant. But as far as SHITnall's, or say SHITnall's version, I'm thinking just bloody boycott it, people. If you want to look up some good Doctor Who stories, it's some of the classic Doctor Who's, or even if some of the modern Who's, like we had Christopher Eccleston, David Tennant, Matt Smith, and maybe even a little bit of Peter Capaldi. But they are the best of the Doctor Who. All this new crap with Jodie Whittaker's Doctor, it's not to do with anything about being feminist. I'm not against the female Doctor at all now. I was a little bit towards the beginning of it with the female Doctor. Not sure how to take because the Doctor has always been a man, and I still stick that. The Doctor was always a man, and so when even basically I still class even when he transformed into Jodie and maybe even this other Doctor, the Ruth Doctor. I think. I think it's absolutely bullcrap. I'm sorry, people, but as far as I'm concerned, the whole idea of a pre-Doctor that's supposed to become before the whole William Hartnell era, I really think that's just stupid. No offence to any women out there, or to any feminists or SJWs or whatever, but to be quite honest, even to SHITnall, Chris SHITnall, to be honest, I think you just overstepped the mark, mate, because making that like a pre-Doctor, supposed to be pre-William Hartnell, and not an alternate timeline, or other alternate universe, or whatever, I think, or even a Doctor that comes after Jodie, I reckon it was complete and utter bullshit, mate. You're full of bullshit, and I hope something really silly happens to you, sir, because you've created something that's not worth creating, and you've just basically opened a cesspool of rubbish and absolute garbage. So I'm sort of done. I sort of want to point out now, I think where Doctor Who actually, just another possible slapside theory, is that I believe the Matt Smith Doctor, that's where the Doctor actually fell. The fall of the Doctor actually started with Matt Smith, because even when you get to the opening title, when he first regenerated, he even said, "Am I a girl?" No. Of course he's not a girl. But they sort of implied that was the road they were going to go down. And then with Peter Capaldi's Doctor, there was a lot of feminist ideology thrown into the mix of the episodes. And you've got to go through the episodes and actually have a look through it. But when River Song was having a dig at the Doctor, it wasn't like play fighting. It was sort of like this feminist Nazi business going on. And so I reckon, Peter Capaldi and Matt Smith as actors are brilliant, but their Doctors are a little bit off. So I'm pretty sure when Matt Smith, Matt Smith, I'm trying to think of the word. Sorry, my mind's still slipping a little bit. With Matt Smith and Peter Capaldi and Jodie Whittaker, that's the timeline. Those are Doctors should not exist as far as I'm concerned, because they're absolutely crap. I'm sorry, with some of their stories. I'm a little bit lenient, a little bit towards Peter Capaldi and Matt Smith's, because they have tried to do better. And even though there was some feminist ideologies in some of those versions, it wasn't like trying to hammer you with it. It was like, it was a bit of a joke, tongue-in-cheek stuff. So I suppose I can let that slide. But what I cannot let slide is the Jodie Whittaker Doctor era now. I started to actually like Jodie Whittaker's Doctor. It was different. It was actually allowing some sort of change. And a part of Doctor Who is you're supposed to, being a Doctor Who fan and being a Doctor, Time Lord or whatever, you've got to embrace change. And I'm quite happy with embracing change, but not to a degree where it rewrites the whole entire timeline of the whole entire show, or the whole entire timeline of the entire franchise. It just seems really, really ridiculous to me. Look, the Doctor was never a female in his first incarnations, okay? No matter how much you would like to try to believe that, you could bring up references to, you know, the third Doctor dressing up as a woman to sneak into, a washerwoman to sneak into a base. Well, that's just bullshit, because that was just a disguise. It had nothing, it wasn't even, I mean, it wasn't even, whatever. Or, you know, even Tom Baker bringing it up, yeah, it might be alright to have a female Doctor. But that's not the point. The point being is, the female Doctor thing, I don't really care anymore. The female Doctor's not so bad. What I have an issue with is if you're trying to say that there was a female Doctor before William Hartnell's era. That's absolutely bullshit. I'm sorry, but that's absolutely bullshit, and I'm not just going to lay it down. That is absolute bullshit. Chris Chitnall, or SHITnall, you completely lost your banana, mate. And this is just my rant, people. A little bit of rant and a little bit of a theory that Chris Chitnall is making his own bullshit version of Doctor Who. So, sadly to say, with Jodie Whittaker's Doctor, it's actually a reboot of the Doctor Who series, and there really should not be a need for a reboot. So, whatever. I'm not happy with it, so just screw it, and screw Chitnall, because I'm not going to go with that path. So, whatever, people. I hope you guys have a great day. Have a good one, people. Bye.